Hello and welcome back to Filament Printing. Today a little episode, I suppose, about my little filament wiper or nozzle wiper that I designed for the Ender 3 or other printers that have a possibility to have this bed mounted, I suppose. If your bed has things that can use these little spring clips, as you can see, from picture frames, essentially, I believe is what they use for normally. You can get like a bag of 100 for like a few bucks, as you can see here. Try to put the link in the description. It holds your bed in place by essentially, if this was the bed, clipping onto it like so. And then they're easy to remove. They have a triangular section, which when you insert the bed like so, you have a bit of space on the side here, as you can see. That wasn't utilized, so what I did is I designed a little filament wiper that attaches to that little triangle section. If I can latch it onto here, for instance. There you go. I'll show it in a second. And if you have one on either side, it locks it in place so it can't move. And it's always removable if you want to replace it or remove it in general. As you can see, this is how it attaches. It's a little slot. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting that I have. Let me check if I can lower it down a bit. I think it doesn't want to work with me today. Oh, this is the other button. So, come on. There you go. Maybe it's easier to see now. Probably not. No. Okay, well, take my word for it. It slits in there. Can probably barely see it, pretty hazy, but yeah, it slits there. And let's turn on the light again. Can I? There you go. Yeah, it keeps it in place. You should print this out in 0.28 millimeters resolution. Any lower than that, and I can guarantee it will come out nice, because if your layer height is smaller, the filament is also thinner, I guess, when you smear it out, and it has the propensity to collapse on itself. So I'm not sure if you can see the difference, but this one has open holes and it's well, fine essentially, and this one has all the holes collapsed. This is the 0.12 millimeter one, and honestly just looks like crap. So we get rid of that one. So yeah, you also print out a little base, which is basically the negative of the nozzle wiper, and a little lid to keep all the mess inside and allow it to cure properly without deformation. So yeah, I guess I'll just show you now how to assemble it or to start the process. So you get the base plate, as you can see. You get the little insert, flat side is on top, and you have these little protrusions on the top that you will line up to the end of the comb negative. And you'll try to do your best to center it. You can move it when it's inside, but it's best to do it while you're inserting it. So as you can see, it's sticking out a bit. And then you take your thumbs and you firmly press it down. So now it's flat. As you can see, it's not sticking out at all whatsoever. So now it's flat. It's kind of hard to see, but please take a word for it. Then you get this little base plate. It has a divot on one side, other side is just completely flat. The divot side is on top, reason being the divot is there so that a syringe you'll be using to inject the silicon has a place to seal a bit. If it's just flat, you can't really seal and it will squirt out all over the place. So the divot is there to keep the nozzle in place, and you can just inject the silicon like so. Yeah, that's basically it. So now I can put on and line up the holes with a divot on top. Line it up a bit, as you can see here. And I can use these M3 by 10 screws. Smaller works. Longer, you don't really have enough space because of the hole sizing. So M3 by 10 or M3 by 7 is the lowest I would recommend. So just get anything between that range. Get your little Allen key or whatever you have, and then you start screwing it inside. It'll take a while, so feel free to skip to the right time stamp, I suppose. Or just stick around and enjoy the moment of me struggling with this. Okay. Should really get an electric screwdriver for this tedious thing, because it's really annoying. Let's see. And there goes the Allen key. Try it again. Okay, there you go. You don't need it super tight, snug is enough. If it starts to, you know, give a bit, then you stop. It's not supposed to be, you know, airtight in the sense of a pressure vessel. As long as it keeps the silicon somewhat in place, or stops it from squirting all over the place, it should be fine. Also, sometimes say as I do and not as I... Sorry, say as I do as I say, there you go, and not as I do. Let's see. Just a couple more. Couple, 4. I hate this. Okay. It's in, you can really ream against it. Let's get off camera a second and make it a bit easier for myself to spin this. There you go. Come on. Is it fully closed? Yep. Yep. Now it's number 3. One day I'll have a sponsor that sends me a free screwdriver, right? Let's see. There you go. Especially these tiny ones are really annoying to do with these Allen keys. I do have one of these small ones, screwdrivers, but it only has a Torx bit that's barely too big for this to fit. I tried. So, off with the old IKEA M3 we are. Okay. And after this, it's 2 more. So how's your weekend, you know? Talk to me in the description, I guess. Thing that's tight. Yes, sir. No, 2 more. At least they're going in correctly. One thing that I do recommend is if you print one of these out, use the shiny filament, as you can see. Yes, it looks absolute ass, but the surface is smoother, so the release of the mold is easier. I made one of these with matte filament before on this item over here. It's the silicon mold for the nozzle that I have for the Spider tree. Works great, however it sticks a bit more, so removing it was a bit more of a pain in the rear end. While with the smooth filament, or the shiny one I might say, it just releases easier, so I recommend doing that. So again, it's not the requirement, it just makes life easier. Or you can put in a little bit of a release agent like hairspray or something like that works. Also helps with bubbles forming on the edge of your print, so the surface is a bit smoother, so I've read. Let's see. But yeah, the link of this mold will be in the description, of course, together with the mold for my spider tree. I basically took someone else's mold though, and I used it. It worked fine, but it had a bit of an issue of detaching itself, because the silicon you have to use is either really tough, which I'll speak about in a moment, or what's it called? Let's see again. It's really tough or like too flabby or flexible, I suppose. So you have to find a really fine line between both of those to get one that fits pretty well. Because when it prints and the nozzle catches on something, just a little bit, it just rips the sock off. So I was like, yeah, I'm tired of this. So what I did is I took his model and I essentially closed one side off because the wires only come from one direction for the thermistor and the heater, and the other one should be closed. While the model of his is better, technically speaking, for compatibility because it has wires on both sides. But I closed one side off, so it became pretty rigid, and it just hooks onto the heat block, I guess. And the other side is the open one, so it doesn't move anymore. It's fine. It hasn't given an issue, and it has a better seat. So yeah, the link will be there. So now, as you can see, the little block is now complete. It's as you can see, always double check. There's a seam here. I didn't fully tighten it. Let's close this off a bit more. Come on, tighten, tighten. Alrighty, I think I stripped it a bit here, so let me give it a little squish. If you don't have the screws and you have one of these in your garage or something, you can also use one of these clamps, or two on one side, I guess, and you'll be good. I'll be using this right now just to sandwich a bit more so it's flat. There you go, and I can tighten it like so. I think. Or I might have stripped the wire, to be honest. I think I over tightened it, so I will see. I think it's now good, actually. Yep, no, it's good now. There's no seam. So it's good. So now it's fully sealed. So there's the insert inside. This is fully sealed. And you have the hole here. And you have 3 tiny breather holes. Breather holes. There you go. Next up is what I always recommend. Get some toilet paper or some tissues, because this will probably get quite messy. There you go. And then I'll have a little chopstick to mix my silicone, because you have to mix it quite rigorously. And what I have next is ear headphones alerts. It's gonna be a bit loud. Maybe. I have a little sandwich bag that I use to protect my work surface. Put this away. Put you away. And put you away. I can put this away actually, because it's gonna stab me. Calipers are now underneath my desk on a little magnetic holder. So yeah, we have this, and now we need to fill this syringe with some silicone. I actually have to remove the tip because I don't need it for now. I do need the little stop though. There you go. So what we do is I have a little, if I can find where I put it actually. Let's get these here actually. Let's see. I actually might have forgotten to bring it here. I had a little mixing cup that I apparently misplaced, so doing everything live is a bit on the wary side, I suppose. Well, you'll catch my drift, I suppose, if I just do it. There's a little bit more waste, but unfortunately, can't do anything about it. Yeah. Anyway, what you need is either a measuring cup, a kitchen scale, or I have one of these. This is like a tiny jeweler's scale. There you go. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, so I turn it on. Then I put my little cup on to mix, and I'll tear it down to 0. There you go. Then I have some silicon. This is some 2-part silicon. This is used for jewelry making. As you can see, turn it upside down. There you go. Or no, this is the right side up actually. I'm looking at it upside down. This is silicon, as you can see, R Pro Tech 33. 33 stands for the flexibility, I suppose, or hardness, sure. If you get it higher, I believe it's a more rigid silicon, and lower is a more flexible one. 33 is for me pretty much the like I don't want to say lowest, but the optimal one for me. I could go higher, but then if I have to hook it around something, like for this, higher is probably better. But for what I have, this is better. Like for this, I would go higher, yes. But for like the nozzle and stuff, this is pretty much perfect because I have to hook it around some stuff. You have about a 20-minute working time at 23 degrees Celsius, I believe. And you know, if you go warmer in your climate, it goes quicker, so the set time is faster. And if you go colder, it takes way longer. So I just let it sit for about an hour or something, and I'll usually am good. It has a, as you can see here, 46-hour setting time, and the working time is 20 minutes. The setting time, honestly, is a bit over-exaggerated. Maybe to fully cure if it's a thick mold or something, but for what I'm using it for the thin stuff or just small pieces, after about an hour it's usually already done. But if you want, you can wait the full 4 to 6 hours. After you remove it, it's a bit tacky, so you can put some talcum powder on it, honestly, to get it not sticky, I suppose. That's what I do. But yeah, it's non-toxic. You know, it has a platinum catalyst, which makes this react chemically. I had some RTV, which is also a silicon rubber, that did not cure at all, and just literally worked like glue on these things and just sticked everywhere, because I found out that those require atmospheric moisture to cure. So it just stays wet for weeks on end, because the only moisture it would get is for any air or moisture, essentially, that would leak to the tiny seams in the mold, which took literally weeks if I would have to do it that way. Also, it would just stick, so you need a very good mold release agent to use. So don't even bother with RTV, in my opinion, if you want to try it and do it. There's people that got success with it, so you know, do that. This stuff just works. You don't need any prep. It doesn't stick to it. If you want, you can put mold release agent for a smoother finish, but in general, this just works. Yeah. It's a 1-to-1 mix ratio, by weight or by volume, so you can use either the scale or whatever. You can kind of eyeball it. It will just make it so that the cure time is a bit different, but overall it should still, you know, do the same thing. But to have the proper characteristics that this states, you need to mix it 1-to-1 specifically. We won't need a lot. Yesterday, for instance, I made way too much, so I think we need probably about 10 to 20 grams of this. But to mix it properly and put it in the thing, I'm gonna mix about 30 of each. Sorry, 30 of each, 30 total. So we're gonna see, or maybe 40 even, to be fair. So yeah, you should wear gloves. I won't, because you know, I'm cool like that, but you should wear gloves, just to be sure. And yeah, let's mix it up, I suppose. Also, this is by, I think, an Italian company called, is there, oh, here, it's on the bottom actually, Reshimica. I assume it's Reshimica. Yeah. It's pretty cheap. I think this cost me a little bit less than 20 bucks on Amazon, and it's honestly good stuff. I also use this to make like a little pad to solder on, for instance, because this stuff can handle like what is it again? I think it's something crazy, like 300 something degrees Celsius or something, 250, I believe. Don't take my word for it, but check it on their website. But I believe this is 350 degrees Celsius resistant, or at least 300 that I know of, because it's used for jewelry making. So, all the yapping done, I turn this back on, I tare it to 0, there it's 0. I put in 30 milliliters of this. Takes a little bit to come out. Okay. It's 2, 4 grams, 6, 10 grams, 5, I think. Let's go 20 actually on this one. 18 grams. It's a really thick 18 grams. 19 grams, and that's done. 20.3. And then I'll tare it again and try to put 20.3 of the white stuff. This one is quite a bit more fluid. 10, 11, 15, 18, 19, and 20. There you go. Be sure you wipe it off with a little napkin. This is pretty clean. I'll do some free advertisement, right? There you go. Keep them over here. And what you'll do then is you have a 20-minute working time, so it's really not that bad. As you can see here, there's red and there's white. And you essentially just mix it until it's a homogeneous, or you just fully mix it basically until it's one solid color. Be sure if you mix it that you get everywhere, you know. Don't just mix in the edge. No, don't just be like this. You also have to go mix in the center and then go out. I just keep doing that. Try not to whisk it like you do with eggs, because you're going to introduce a lot of air bubbles. Just try to keep the tip in the bottom, so you mix it properly without introducing too much air. I mean, a bit of air is inevitable. And you could degas it in a vacuum chamber, for instance, which I do not have. I wish I would have one, honestly, because it just makes everything so good. And you could put the mold even in the vacuum chamber, since these are so small. And it's something I'll probably will invest in the future. But for now, this works just fine. I don't have a lot of air bubbles in general, and I'll show you a bit of a trick, or yeah, basically a trick to get rid of at least the majority of them. If you have a big open mold, you can pour in the silicone essentially. From the higher it is, I guess you pour it from, the better, because the way it works, it makes like a long string, and just all the air gets popped out essentially. So the higher you pour it from, the better. Obviously there's a thing called aim, so you have to actually hit the place you're gonna pour it in. But for now, as long as you do it from a somewhat decent distance, the air just gets naturally removed, I suppose, just by its stringing. So that's done. Get a little napkin to wipe off the excess of the tip here. The stuff is pretty sticky, so again, I do recommend you wearing gloves, but I've done this now quite a few times, so I'm pretty confident that I will be fine. So I am done with the mixing stick. Put it away. Away. Now be sure your work surface has a liner or some kind, because this stuff gets everywhere. You take out the little cap, or not cap, the plunger. Let's see. Okay, I just said I'm really good with this stuff, but now I have some on my hand. Just give me 1 second, please. Get some paper towel to clean it off. There you go. No, now I'm clean. So, put this down. Be sure it's fully tightened. Get paper towel in by hand. You get the plunger out, as you can see. If you have a little end stop, like this thing, do put it on, because it is so runny. It is so runny that it will just seep out, so fit like this. And as you can see, there's a lot of air. What you'll do is you'll slowly spin it, like so. And the air bubbles will naturally, I'm not sure if you can see it, like so. The air bubbles will it's kind of hard to show, I guess. Well, take a word for it. If you spin it like so, like on its side a bit, the air bubbles will naturally escape a little bit. Not all of them, the small ones will stay, but the big ones will kind of release a bit. And what you then do is you'll take the syringe, and from a pretty decent distance, you'll try to keep it pivoted a little bit. Yeah, and then from a distance, you'll try and aim at the syringe. That's why you need something to clean. Okay, and then it'll go in a long, nice thread. You can't see it, but it's a nice, long, thin thread with almost no air in it. Okay. I think this should be enough, honestly. Yeah, as I said, I made too much. I think about 10 grams of this stuff should suffice to fill this entire thing up. But as I said, I only have a big container, so I need to put in a bit of extra. Otherwise it won't leave the cup, essentially. Throw this away. There you go. So now we have a syringe filled with the silicone. Then, while holding the button in place, as you can see, the button you hold in place, you'll insert it a bit. There you go. And then you have it capped off. So what you'll then do is put this down, open the tip, put it down. As you can see, it's sprayed everywhere a bit. And then you'll just light force, not heavy force. You'll plunge down on it with light force. There you go. Until it essentially squirts out of the venting holes or on the side or wherever. It has to come out from somewhere. Come on. Okay, in this case it's coming out of the sides. So you just keep on going, keep on going. Again, it's a mess, don't worry about everything that's leaking. Because it's easy to cut off and it's really soft, so don't worry about it. Okay, so when it's fully filled, because it's coming out of the side, as you can see, what I like to do is give it a bit of an oomph, you know, like fully push it hard, which causes the air to escape a bit. And then for the remaining, I just push it slowly until everything is inside. As you can see, I made way too much, so I might as well just excessively do it to be sure that all of the crevices are filled. I got about 2 milliliters left. I can see the air popping out. Yep, there's a lot of air coming out. And remove it. There you go. Then I get out the little paper towel guy again. There you go. And then wipe off the tip. And once this is cured, I can pull it out, clean it to use for the next time. I like to put it upside down and just let it rest and cure. Same for my mixing bowl that has a lot of the stuff left. This will harden up and I can just peel it off in one go. So you can always reuse that. This little mess over here, I'll just wait till it dries and then I'll peel it off. And yeah. Once this is fully cured, I like in about 20-ish minutes I can start to remove it. I'll usually wait an hour or so. What I then do is get a little blade like this hobby knife. Then I trim off the top and the sides. Then I'll remove the lid and I can pull off the whole assembly. I don't feel like editing, so I will stop this stream and video here. And essentially, if you go to the description, there'll be a link to the STL file of this thing for free. And you can see the results of it there in the pictures. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you enjoy this little project, and hopefully till next time. Have a good day, and Happy New Year for this one.